Hi, welcome to Soul Centered. Soul Centered is a spiritual center for meaning, purpose, and healing in the afternoon of life. I'm Baruch Halevi. This is Ariela, your guide and your healer in the afternoon of life. Afternoon of life, midlife, onwards. Doesn't matter where you are in it, wherever you are in it, you're dealing with new goals, new rules, new tools, especially around relationships. And that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Right. So we want to kind of preview our upcoming podcast on the five love languages. And not only do we want to talk about this idea of Gary Chapman wrote this wonderful book called The Five Love Languages. And it's a quiz, a test that you can take to figure out what language of love you speak. And it's really interesting when you do take it because us being married for 21 years, it still surprises us when we find that our love languages are completely opposite. So what do you do when you have a partner that speaks a different language than you?
Yeah, this is obviously relevant too in the morning of life, the first half of life, but I don't think many of us stop and really get past ourselves truly and our needs and look at the person across from us and say, I want to give you a gift and I want to give it to you on your terms, right? Not what I want to give you, but what you want to or need to receive. And I think that's the big shift in the afternoon of life is really starting to ask ourselves that question of, if it's a gift and it's truly a gift, then what is it that they need? Gary Chapman talks about five different love languages in his book, and they're really important just to kind of think about, what are they? So I'm just going to rattle them off. There's acts of service, right? So doing things for other people. There's words of affirmation. So giving, obviously, affirming kind words to somebody else. Spending quality time with that other person. Physical touch, and then actually the art and the exchange of a physical, tangible gift.
Right. So we jump off this point. We teach on the afternoon of life. We jump off from these five love languages, and we look at what does it take to bring someone to want to give in that way. Right? Most of our days we go by, we have this remembering, oh yeah, I have to give to this person in the way they want to be given. But if you're human, then you're going to slip back into the way you naturally give or even don't give.
Yeah.
And so the idea of our podcast is to explore in the afternoon of life how to become more soul-centered. Really, it's not about the other person as much as it is about you centering yourself, becoming your own person, and taking some of the focus off the person you're in relationship with, because that's part of the morning of life, how it shifts into the afternoon of life, is that we realize that A, we can't change that person no matter how much we have tried. We have tried. And B, it's really about us and doing some of that inner work to be able to be open to give and received with that person.
I mean, that's a huge point, right? Is that the afternoon of life, you start to go inward and you realize that we spent a good portion of our life reacting to our external circumstances, how other people make us feel, what they do to us. The afternoon of life is this opportunity to take back the reins of the only thing that we ever control, which is our response. Right? Dr. Viktor Frankl, teacher of mine, talks about being responsible, as opposed to reactive. And to me, that's what's so important in this conversation, is to be able to respond to whoever is around us on our terms, not out of guilt, not out of fear, not out of lack or poverty, but out of this place of consciously choosing, right, to give a gift or not give a gift.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think that's the whole premise of our conversation is this conscious choice, right? So there's different steps that we'll go through to discuss like how to make that conscious choice and how to look at life in a different way, look at relationships in a different way so that you can choose openness and you can choose what I always like to say, raise your vibration. You always say that's too woo-woo. But see, he's coming around.
See, we can change. Don't give up.
But to choose your vibration, right? It's me being the healer, it's an energy thing. It's an energy of I'm choosing today to raise my vibration, to do my inner work so that I can see you.
And I'll just end with mine, as a guide of what I call the 99% rule. I see so many people get stuck in this thing where, well, they're only giving 99%, so I'm going to not go all in. I'm not going to show up completely because I'm scared. I'm going to give 98%, 97, 96. And decades pass, and you have a failing grade in your relationship because of all began out of fear and what the other person was or wasn't doing. So that's the nature of our podcast. This most recent one from Soul Centered. We're very excited about it and about our podcast in general. You can jump over to our website, mysoulcentered.org, and you can get our latest podcast. You can certainly get it too on iTunes, Spotify, and all the major places where you listen to your podcast. But start at mysoulcentered.org. And until next time, namaste, shalom, salam,
Namaste.
and peace. Bye.